I'm playing one of the most difficult chords that a beginner can play, the bar chord. Stick around to find the steps I would use to relearn it if I had to. The first thing to learn when you're trying to figure out bar chords is, what are they? The simplest explanation is explaining what they're doing. So we're going to take our index finger and we're going to place it on all the strings. And this is called a bar because our finger acts like a bar playing multiple strings at once. And then we're going to take a chord, like an E chord, and place it. That's a bar chord. It's because we're placing our finger across multiple strings. And that's simply what barring is. Now, how do we make them? We're going to start with two main shapes. We're going to start with our E chord. And our A chord. We will also use the minor versions of these chords. So we'll have E minor and A minor. These chords are great because they both start with the root note being played on one of the lowest strings. So in this case, the E is being played on the E string. And the A uses the A string. That helps us because then we can know what the chord will be when we play the first note. So if we put our finger here, that's an F note, and if we move the E chord up one fret, that becomes an F chord. You can do that again, and you can move it up 2 more frets to get a G chord, because this note is a G. And that's how you can tell what chord you're playing. The root note is the chord. Great. Let's go to the A chord. Like I said earlier, this note is our A note. And then if we go up 3 frets, that's a C note because we have A sharp, B, C. So this becomes a C chord. We're taking that A shape and moving it up 3 frets. And that's the general idea. Like I said earlier, you can also use the minor version. So we're going to take our E minor chord, and we're going to take it to the 5th fret, which is an A, because F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and just play the E minor, which becomes A minor. We're going to take that same approach with the D minor chord. So we're going to come to the 5th fret of the A string, because A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Play our A minor chord, which looks like this, at the D minor. And that's the basic function of bar chords. Now, how would I start to learn it if I was a beginner? I would start by just playing the root note and the chord. So I wouldn't bar it. I would just play the root note and just play this bottom 4 strings. You still get most of the sound, so you're really getting a good bar chord out of it. You can also do that with your G chord, your A minor chord. When you're doing the E minor version, you want to not play the 4th string either, because it'll sound really nasty like that. But that's how I would start. You can do the same things on the bottom frets, like this. You can do the same things on the A shapes, like this. This one's a little more tricky because you have to bar with your ring finger too. So that will be a great practice just to do one at a time. So I would start with the E shape, get that down, and then try and add in that A shape to use more bars with. Great. The next thing I would do after you get that is, instead of trying to bar the whole thing, switch the shape so you bar the bottom notes. So this is an F chord. You're practicing barring the bottom two strings with your index finger, but you're not doing a full bar, which makes it difficult. So I would do this to the G chord. And then the A minor chord, you have to raise this finger up one. And that's the steps I would take. After that, I would try and add a full bar chord. It takes a lot of practice and hurts at first, but I know you can do it.